Hey, you're here with Dr. Jodi, and this is season 2 of Anxiety. I am so done with you. This podcast is a teen and young adult guide to ditching toxic stress and hardwiring your brain for happiness. If you're new here, grab a copy of my book, Anxiety, I'm So Done With You, because this series is following section by section through the book, going a little bit deeper, giving more examples, and telling more stories. Season 2, which follows along with Chapter 2, is going through the lies that anxiety, depression, and negative thinking tell you to get you to believe them. Once you know what they are, you can see them coming a mile away and call them out. That way they can no longer sucker punch you with their toxicity. I appreciate you for listening, subscribing, and leaving me 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. If I've helped you at all, spread the word about this book and this podcast series. Mental health problems are invisible, so you never know who is struggling around you, and you sharing can make a huge difference in their lives. Welcome to this podcast. We're talking about Chapter 2, Lie Number 3. You must handle it right. I'll go over the easiest ways for you to handle negative feelings and talk about the power of saying goodbye to your anxiety. All right, what's fake positivity? Also called toxic positivity, this is when you think that any negative feeling is wrong. It's thinking that being positive means you're always happy and evolved above being upset by whatever happens. Some people call this bypassing, as in spiritual bypassing. Bypassing means dismissing the context of the problem, including if someone or some structure hurt you. That promotes the idea that you shouldn't let anything bother you, no matter how horrible or unjust it is. Spiritual bypassing is when people on a spiritual journey embrace New Age ideas that convince them that there's one truth. Everything is a reflection of the mind. The assumption is that people are hurt only when something unhealed inside them is triggered. Unfortunately, this has people double down on self-blame or, in the opposite vein, avoid responsibility for their actions and behaviors that hurt others. They say, if I hurt you, that was you being triggered about something inside of you. In some ways, I get it. If someone you did not care about rejected you, you would totally feel it less than if it was someone you did care about. But if someone you didn't care about stabbed you, you would totally care. I do recognize that sometimes people repeat unhealthy patterns. However, if we blamed people's inner triggers for injustices that happen to them, then we would ignore all injustices that don't affect us because we would not see them as our problem. Similarly, people think that not intending to hurt someone means they're not responsible for hurting someone. I mean, when people don't mean to hurt you, it does feel a little bit better, but they still hurt you. They're responsible for the impact of their words or deeds, and when that's acknowledged, it's even more healing. Did you ever have someone apologize to you saying, I'm sorry if what I said hurt you, but that's not what I meant? Instead of, I'm sorry I said that. Thank you for the feedback. I'm going to be more careful next time because I don't want to hurt you. There's a big difference. One is using intention as an excuse not to take responsibility for one's words. People hear that and feel gaslit by it. I'm sorry you didn't understand me correctly. The other apology is being accountable for saying something wrong and then committing to improving now that they learned how it was received. Intention can be part of the apology, of course it can. Knowing that they didn't mean it does heal the relationship, but it is better coming after the acknowledgement of what was said or done. We still live in a world of form and humans have feelings. You affect the people and the energy field around you, and you're responsible for that. Okay, I'm listening to myself and I'm thinking I have to make a caveat here because sometimes you're dealing with someone who's selfish and narcissistic, and you have to do the opposite of what I'm saying. They might be complaining about something you said, like when you were sticking up for yourself, and they might want you to take responsibility for it as if you've done something wrong, but I don't want you to take responsibility for that. If you're wondering which situation you're in, or if you think that your perspective might be clouded, take a step back. A distant perspective can help you understand the big picture and know what you're dealing with. Also, you don't have to do this alone, especially if you're dealing with someone who is potentially manipulating you. Float that situation past a good friend and see what they think. For me, understanding your impact is the second half of the spiritual journey. The first half is to free yourself of the shackles of the monkey mind and realize you are divine. And then the second half is to use that to take care of and change the world with that new understanding. Some people get stuck in the middle of that journey. It's like when you read anti-racist books and you hear that progressive white women feel the most dangerous to people of color. It's because they take for granted that they are good and do not continue to be reflexive and conscientious about their actions and thoughts and behaviors. If you're white and you'd like to be an ally, you are never done doing the work on your implicit biases. Bypassing is difficult for me to stomach as a social worker, someone who's worked with people who've experienced trauma for so long, because this gives an excuse to blame and gaslight the victim. If someone assaults you, that's a reflection of your mind, as if you have total responsibility for what happened to you. A victim taking responsibility for what happened to them is a problem we are trying to undo. When somebody hurts you, you get rejected, or if you are disappointed, feeling hurt, sad, and worried and betrayed is human. It's more weird if you don't feel those things. So society's expectation that you shouldn't feel bad no matter what happens is not allowing you to be human. If you haven't picked up on it yet, this toxic positivity is another example of high expectations of Western culture. It is a tactic of colonization. You are human. Of course, you're upset by the things that have happened to you. So expecting yourself to get over it fast, be positive all the time, act chill, do everything right, etc., are all unrealistic expectations. They are toxic because they make your very humanity feel inadequate. The opposite of toxic positivity is spiraling negativity. Do you ever start ranting about something and it feels really good to get it out, but then it seems to cross a line and everything negative from your whole life and your whole past is coming into your consciousness and joining with what is happening? It is good to get it out. That is helpful. It's better outside of you than inside of you, and ranting can feel cathartic and relieving. But there is a point when things start to feed upon themselves and make you feel worse. More and more bad memories, globs of negative self-judgment, and worry circles come, exponentially upsetting you more. What's worse, this can affect behavior. You may do something to push someone you need away from you or hurt someone that you don't mean to hurt. So how do we find the sweet spot between toxic positivity and spiraling negativity? You balance. You've honed this one if you did the exercise in the last section. And if you didn't do that exercise, what happened? I told you that was one of the most important things in this book. If you did do it, you know what I'm going to say. You have to let yourself feel. Once you face the problems and you have compassion for yourself, it's only then that you don't attach to your feelings. From there, you can learn or resolve or evolve from it. Otherwise, you keep spiraling. If you don't attach and the feeling dissolves, your mind will still try to bring it up again. That's what we covered in the exercise. Expect this. This is human. Now you have the script to address it. Oh, hey, self-blame, I knew you'd come back. Oh, hey, hurt, I knew you'd come back. Oh, hey, pain, I knew you'd come back. Oh, hey, whatever it is that you feel, I knew you'd come back, but have a seat. I'm busy right now. Then you take your mind off it and onto something else to do, some kind of engaging physical or mental activity. When people fully feel their feelings and so do not attach to the problems, They get to this time when they could take their attention away quite quickly. Don't worry if you don't fully have this embodied yet. I will give many more examples of this as this series goes on because I'm not leaving here until you get this one. Next, I want to take a moment to chat about who you surround yourself with. If you are in a group who spirals in negativity, I am so worried about all of you. I understand there's a profound sense of belonging when you feel bad and join a group like this. Misery loves company. However, often, this kind of group creates a mini culture that implicitly values suffering. This makes individuals less motivated to get better because that would mean they don't belong anymore. Implicit means it's there and it's affecting the situation, but it's invisible and not said out loud. The opposite is explicit. Explicitly, these groups hate suffering. Of course they do. And that is true too. People can think explicitly one way and have implicit biases that are operating counter to that. Implicit beliefs powerfully affect us. And anytime you make what's implicit explicit, you take that power back. You need that sense of belonging, but I want you all to lift each other up and not stay down together. You're all sensitive and care and you're worried about each other, and that makes you all feel worse. And I have a way to stop that. Watch my video, Loving People Up to You Instead of Worrying Down to Them, on my blog post that goes along with this episode. The link is in the show notes. In the What's in Your Hand exercise of this section, I invite you to write a letter to your anxiety. This exercise is a powerful way of exposing what you have learned about your anxiety and stating your commitment to living life on your terms. In the book, I give you an example, and here I'm going to read you another example. This is a letter from Cindy to the voice of self-hate. For many months, you have pushed the limits to try and conquer me. You pretend to be my only true friend and made me believe that I was fat, ugly, and unattractive to anyone. You began to mold me into someone I could no longer recognize, with tasteless thoughts and immoral concepts. You took what was mine from me and didn't even bother to replace it. You've tried to take from me my only true passion, field hockey, and make me believe that I would never succeed. You knew no boundaries and even went so far as to begin to make me turn on my family and argue with the ones I love for getting too close to me. You encouraged me to push them all away regardless of the consequences. But guess what? I'm stronger than you. I will and am overcoming you. I'm regaining my life back because no matter what things you've tried to do to me or how much you've tried to rule my life, I'm not going to stand for it. You told me to ignore my best qualities and ignore what others said around me because they could never be true. I finally know my worth. And I'm saying goodbye to you and all my other problems who don't believe in me and who aren't helping me get to where I'm going. I have a wonderful family that loves me, amazing people around me that support me, and I'm lucky enough to be grateful for every day and every luxury I have. I'm destroying the beliefs that you have tried so hard to instill in me that I was ugly, worthless, unintelligent, fat, unathletic, and the black sheep of my family. I work hard every day. Of course, I care about everyone around me. I'm very smart, and I'm wise beyond my years. I have faith, and I believe I'm a great friend. I'm a role model for those who look up to me. I'm a scholar athlete. Also, I'm musically talented. I've been gifted with a great school system, a safe town, and semi-good weather. I'm attractive to those who I want to attract. If someone is only going to like me because I'm a size 0, they are not worth my time anyway. And I know now and fully believe that my personality on the inside radiates to the outside and affects those around me. I'm not fat. I'm working conscientiously to become healthier, not heavier. I've always been in a healthy weight anyway, especially as a 3-sport athlete. So how dare you tell me what beautiful is and try to define who I am based on stereotypical, shallow, materialistic values. I don't want to listen anymore. Cindy. Take a moment to let that sink in. Hopefully, Cindy's letter encourages you to write your own letter. I promise it is a powerful exercise. Then, if you're willing, come on over to my blog and share it or part of it in the comments. Then your letter will inspire future visitors to say goodbye to their problems. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast, Anxiety, I'm So Done With You. With me, Dr. Jodi. Anxiety, I'm so done with you. That could be the start of your goodbye letter. In this episode, we learned about toxic positivity, spiraling negativity, and the power of saying adios to your anxiety through a goodbye letter. I love you for subscribing and leaving me 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. The next episode is Chapter 2, line number 4. You must be in control at all times, in all ways, in all places. Oh my gosh, this is going to be powerful. Read or listen to that, and I'll meet you there.